This is a special announcement. This episode of the Tagline has been delayed a year to June 6th of 2025. Apparently, Chad Stahelski is working with director Len Wiseman on additional action sequences for this tagline. Sorry about that. What's going on, everyone? It is Wednesday night. That means it is time for the Tagline. My name is Robert Adams.
I'm Chris Adams.
And I very much enjoy the fact that I said we're going to delay this and then immediately just started the show. You know, what is time but a construct?
Yes.
Oh, answer my own question.
What is time?
Time.
Sorry, every time I hear the word time now, every time I think of Jeffrey Wright saying it.
Time. Yeah. Need to actually get his whole monologue memorized so I could just randomly say that.
Time.
Whenever I'm talking to customers doing a customer service job and they're like, I need you to get this done. I don't have time to deal with this later. I could just immediately time.
Hey, what's that Jeffrey Wright impression that you do? Time.
Time.
That's
they're
my
also
Jeffrey Wright
complaining about not being able to get done what they need to get done. I'm over here doing a Watu the Watcher impression. That's great. Guys, we got a show on tonight, apparently. You know, Tagline. This thing that says right here.
It's the show where the tagline is the title.
That it is. We've got I almost wanted to do the Matt Pat thing. If you've seen any of his videos lately since he's announced that he's retiring, every time he does a video now at Pop, he'll do this intro to get you hyped, and then immediately goes to this black screen with a thud and is 3 theories remain until he retires from being the host of them. So
yeah, several taglines left until we switch the live show to a pre-recorded format.
Yeah. 3 taglines left. Actually, I don't know if it actually is 3 taglines left. How many taglines do we actually have left now?
We got 2 in March. It might actually
move. Freaking phone. What is today? Is the 21st?
It's literally 3. We actually do have 3 taglines left.
1, 2, 3, 4. Well, 4 if you include the one that we still haven't appropriately started yet tonight. But
I'm not.
Oh, okay. Well, let's go ahead and do that then. Guys, y'all know how this is. YouTube thing. Streamlabs.com/Cinefanatics. You got any questions, comments, issues, complaints? Let us know over there. It is a new month, new us.
Same us that
it's been since the beginning of this month. But you know what? You can still donate. It's cool if you like to do that.
It's not even a new month. It's the 21st. We're in the same month.
Oh, that's right. I thought
where did you pull that phrase from?
20th of each month. So I thought
it's a new month every single time the 21st rolls around.
Look, I'm sorry, I was mistaken. I thought that old school Bone Thugs and Harmony song was the 21st of the month. Oh, it's the 21st of the month.
Bro is just yapping over here.
Yeah. Anyways, also patreon.com/Cinefanatics. If you think all of this that's been going on is worth supporting, first of all, thank you, and go get yourself checked out in a mental facility. But also, thank you. If you have the means to support us.
I have $1.
Can we have $1? Hop on the tier that's good for you. There's a $1 tier or a $5 tier.
Hey,
real simple. Hop on the tier that's good for you. If you're at the $5 tier tonight, you get to come watch these two probably lose at Black Cinema Trivia because
white.
I say that in jest. I don't actually mean that because we're white we don't know Black cinema. But who knows? We're about to find out later.
You don't have to explain a damn thing. Everybody can look at us and they know exactly what's going on right here. See?
Does this look like the face that knows the origin and history of Medea? Just let's be honest. This looks like the face of someone who would probably storm the Capitol, if we're being honest. I've seen this face in a lot of other faces. Whew, glad this face is mine and not theirs.
Hey.
Anyways, so tonight if you are at the $5 tier on our Patreon, tonight we are doing the movie trivia hangout. This one is not going to be live, thank God. But we're not broadcasting this one. This one's behind the paywall. If you want to see the utter decimation of certain YouTubers and film fanatics and cine fanatics and whatnot, you need to be on the $5 tier to come join us tonight. That is going to be at 8 Pacific, 11 Eastern after Tagline tonight. Hop on our Discord in the voice chats. Should be a lot of fun.
Can I have $5? I'll give you trivia.
If you feel like you know more about black cinema than we do. Very likely.
It's possible.
Maybe. We'll see how the questions go. Anyways, so Jeremy Miller, like it's pretty much everyone versus John.
Hey, I got a bunch of thoughts and I'm not going to say them. Let's move on.
Stereotypes exist for a reason, let's just say.
I don't even know what that means. Let's move on.
I don't either. Movie watch along. So on our Patreon, if you're at the $5 tier, you also get to join us for a watch along once a month. This month, the watch along is going to be on Wednesday, the 28th, after the Tagline on that night at 8 Pacific, 11 Eastern. We are watching Get Out. So following up with it's Black History Month, we're going to honor that by watching Get Out. Which, yeah, that works. Anyway, so yes, if you would like to join us, hop on the $5 tier. You could join us for trivia tonight, and you could join us for watching Get Out next Wednesday.
Oh, yeah.
Upcoming shows. The next marquee that we have coming up is next month. That is going to be tier ranking MCU villains, and that'll be on Friday, March 15th at 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern. It's going to be a lot of villains, yo. That's a lot of villains for us to rank.
I think we literally have like 31 villains on that list.
Yeah.
Pretty much. It's almost basically like one villain per movie when it comes down to it. Give or take a few movies. There's
like
Loki
movies. Was the main villain of a couple of movies.
Yeah, there's a few movies on there that like who's the main villain of Eternals? I don't think we have an Eternals villain on there. So
not really. But yeah, I will get that list. That will be posted in our Discord probably after this show's over. I'll get that list posted up. So that'll be Friday, March 15th. That'll be the marquee MCU villain tier ranking. Let's talk about movies watched. What have we seen over this past week? Chris?
I've seen 3 movies. 2 of them are good. 1 of them wasn't. Let's talk about the good ones first.
You really didn't like one of those Planet of the Apes movies that you've been rewatching?
Nope. I liked all of the Planet of the Apes movies that I've watched. So I rewatched the first Planet of the Apes, and then for the first time watched the second and third. So Rise being the first, Dawn being the second, and War being the third. I finally got it down. I finally know the order of them.
Yeah, you just have to learn that it's not in the order that you would think. You would think Dawn would come before Rise because Dawn comes and then you rise out of bed.
Well, there's also some text. There's also some text at the beginning of War that kind of gives you the understanding of why they went Rise and then Dawn.
Okay. That being said, I have not watched War yet. I have seen the first 2. So
yeah, I like all 3 of these movies. I've never been like a big like Planet of the Apes person. Haven't really ever cared about like the old movies. So whenever it comes around to like, hey, we've got a Planet of the Apes franchise, I was kind of like, okay. And then everyone was saying it was fantastic. I was like, all right, I'll give these a try at some point. Inevitably watched the first one originally with some friends. They just kind of like, hey, this is the movie we're going to throw on. I was like, okay, we'll watch this, I guess. And realized it was really good. It's been years since that time, but I rewatched the first one recently, and then immediately after that, I was like, oh, I've got to watch the second and third one now. And after watching the second one, I was like, oh, I got to watch the third one now.
And then after watching the third one, you're like, I need to watch the fourth one. Oh, I got to wait a couple of months.
Yeah, and I did this kind of early because now I have to wait a couple of months for the fourth one. But The second one's probably my favorite.
Okay.
Of all of them, I think the second one really did like a lot of heavy lifting for all of it. War was still good, but I think Dawn was probably my favorite. And then I also watched a bad movie that
We'll
you
talk
watched
about
as
that
well.
one. We'll talk about that one here in a minute.
Yeah.
Because we have some discussion on that.
Yeah.
For me, new movies I watched this past week, I did watch Anyone But You, that Glenn Powell, Sydney Sweeney. I know originally when I first heard about this movie, I was like, oh, this just looks like a stupid generic rom-com. I don't care.
Should have opened this up with, and I saw 2 Sydney Sweeney movies, one good, one bad.
Yeah. Oh, actually, yeah. That would be an appropriate way. Yeah. But yeah, when I first heard about the movie, I was like, this looks silly, generic. Like, I can already tell you how this movie's going to end. And I was right. You can.
Yeah, but it's fun.
But it was a fun movie. They actually did, they did a rom-com right. Not saying this is the end-all, be-all of rom-coms. That I still very much like You've Got Mail, probably more.
No more rom-coms after this.
But yeah, I thought it was actually pretty good. Glenn Powell and Sydney Sweeney did have some good chemistry. I was entertained. It was enjoyable. The end credit sequence is really good though. That was so much fun. So I would highly recommend watching it just for that. Not saying that the rest of the movie is bad, but the end credits is good. Just be prepared to have Unwritten stuck in your head for like a week. It is not possible that you're not humming that song to yourself at least the entire next day. Yeah, like even just that. Like I know exactly.
Still unwritten.
Yeah, that song is infectious as hell. Infectious as hell. I don't know if that's actually a phrase, but
infectious as it's as infectious as 2020.
Wow.
Is it too soon to start making pandemic jokes?
Nope. There's a lot of people that cause that to spread, so
there you go.
That's why.
There you go. Anyway.
But yeah, had a lot of fun with that. The other movie I saw that we made a review for, if you want to call that a review, that was more of let's just sit around and let's just talk about.
That was us trying to unload everything that was in our brains, that was left over in our still somehow functioning brains.
We saw Madam Web.
Madame Web.
And we said it in the review. I'll reiterate it here just to sum everything up. It's a bad movie.
It's not good.
It's not that bad of a movie. I've said, like I said in review, I've said it all over the place. I will easily rewatch Madam Web before I rewatch Morbius.
Which Morbius, I believe, is coming to Disney Plus. So if you are interested in Morbius,
why? Also go get your mental health checked out.
There's a world where I'm going to watch it anyway at some point. I don't want to, but I'm probably going to end up watching anyway because I think we'll probably end up ranking all of the Sony stuff.
Yeah, that would. So behind the scenes, real quick, we'll let y'all know we were thinking about doing a marquee at some point where we are tier ranking all like the Sony Spider-Man movies and going so far back to like the Sam Raimi movies. And I was like, what would be fun is if we do a marquee to rank them, but the rule for that marquee is you're only allowed to put one movie in F. That's the only rule. You can put them wherever you want, free for all, but you can only put one movie in F. Good luck.
We would post that marquee board up on Twitter the next day, and people will be looking at us like we're crazy.
Yeah. Well, I would have to post that like on Twitter with the stipulation. Please keep in mind we're only allowed to put one movie in the F tier.
Absolutely insane.
Anyways, we may do that eventually.
Yeah, Madam Web, not good, but it is still watchable, all things considered. They just absolutely should not make a sequel, and Sony needs to absolutely stop making these movies.
Which I like the fact that I keep seeing like on Twitter, people saying like, all right, Sony has decided maybe it's time for them to back away from Spider-Man. I was like, I have not actually seen Sony officially say that.
Nope.
And
they're not going to.
That's the thing is I'm willing to bet they're probably just going to quietly stop making these movies.
I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised. And I'm really curious as to how this is going to go. I wouldn't be surprised if they pull a Warner Brothers and at least they remove Craven and they just bury the Craven movie. Like what Warner Brothers has done with Batgirl and Coyote versus Acme. I wouldn't be surprised, but at the same time, I'm kind of having just a little bit of faith in humanity that Sony's like, okay, so we see all the shit that Warner Brothers has gotten for doing this. We're already in enough trouble with making terrible freaking movies. Let's not compound it by burying the movie also. We made a terrible movie. We're going to own it. We're going to release it. Y'all let us just bring on the hate.
What wouldn't surprise me is hearing within the year 2025, probably at the earliest, that Marvel has fully acquired the live action rights to Spider-Man back again. And there was just no talk of it. There was no like rumor mill. They just like right now, Sony's looking at the box office returns of Madam Web.
What box office returns?
There are some. They're looking at the box office returns of Madam Web, and they're going, all right, let's get Feige up on the phone real quick. And they're beginning negotiations with him, like, hey, after Craven and Venom 3 come out, what's it look like for us to sell you guys the Spider-Man rights back? Can we keep the animated side because we want to go ahead and keep working on the Spider-Verse movies, but we want to like at least give you live action? And Feige would be like, yeah, so looking at the box office returns of Madam Web, I'll give you $5.
Feige's going to take a look at it like, well. Welcome to the office.
Look who came crawling back. He's going to do the whole Thanos speech. You couldn't bear to stand with what you did. So where does that leave you? Coming back to me.
Hey, welcome back. Coming home. Forget about it. We'll bring back Spider-Man.
Hey, Madam Web, get that shit out of here. Hey.
Take it easy, sweetheart.
Hey, take it easy with these Sony Spider-Verse movies. Hey.
Oh my God.
No, I'm serious. I'm serious though. I
want to be a fly on the wall the day that Feige gets that phone call.
Yeah.
Hey, Mr. Feige, just to let you know, I have Amy Pascal on the phone for you. Oh, I bet you do. I bet you do.
Yeah.
What could she possibly want to talk about?
I'm being serious when I say that in the year 2025, I wouldn't be shocked to hear, or if they're not telling us that it just automatically already went through, that we are getting the rumors of them shifting it back over. Because, as much as I would think that the heads of Sony go, well, regardless of whether we're making money off of these movies, we know that Spider-Man is still a lucrative property. Look at the Marvel Studios movies. Yeah, it's because Marvel Studios knows what they're doing with them. You don't. That's why they're making the money over there.
Which probably doesn't help the fact that we have a review up that we're like, it's not a good movie, but I mean, it is watchable. And Sony's like, hey, those Cinefanatics guys say it's watchable. Let's greenlight a sequel right now. We at least got those two guys that are going to come watch it. I'm like, do you?
You don't know.
I do have a certain threshold as to what movies I will go watch, even though I run a movie YouTube channel and I need to talk about movies. You might notice I didn't go see that new Exorcist movie. 1, I don't want to watch Exorcist movies. 2, I've seen David Gordon Green's previous movies of the Halloween franchise.
I'm good.
I don't need to watch him mess up the Exorcist franchise also. So
yeah, I would point out that we did watch Rebel Moon, so by definition, that movie was watchable because we watched it.
I still,
but we're not going to go see Rebel Moon 2.
Yeah, like that. I'm as of
don't
right
care.
now, I have absolutely no desire to see Rebel Moon 2.
I don't care about Rebel Moon 2.
Even though I run a movie YouTube channel, I don't feel like you need my opinion on it. So
likewise, I would not actively care about a Madam Web 2.
We've got just a little over 2,000 subscribers at this point. Y'all don't need our opinion of it. Now, when we hit like 1 million subscribers, sure, I guess we have to. We're honor bound by the subscribers, but 2,000, y'all will be okay if we don't go see it, right?
Anyway.
John, no.
Yeah. So far, that's Argyle for me.
Yeah, Argyle's
I've seen 2 new movies this year so far.
I have yet. I need to go add the other movies that I've seen this year to my actual list. We haven't covered what our top 10 are for 2023.
Nope.
This is, I think, doing a top 10 list is going to be hard until we actually are able to do this like full time.
No, we would just give the top 10 of the movies we saw. That's it.
Yeah, it's just I have issues.
If you don't like that, you don't like that. Deal with it.
I have issues with it that like we still haven't been able to go see Poor Things or Iron Claw, like these big movies that are getting lots of like buzz about it. Still haven't been able to see it. So like we could do it 2023, but then it seems like the list would be incomplete. So
this is for a discussion to be saved off camera.
Yes, it is. Moving forward though. Yeah, Madam Web. I mean, if you want to go see it, I guess it's watchable, but it's a bad movie.
No, don't go see it. Actually, I'm telling you right now, like it is watchable. But please don't go see it. Please do not give Sony any money, making them think that people actually want this slop. Do not reward them. Do not go see Madam Web.
I do want to see Twitter push for the re-release of Madam Web in the theater again.
No.
It's Morbid time again.
That was funny for Morbius. I don't want to see that.
It would be even funnier for Madam Web.
No, it would be absolutely ridiculous. I don't want this movie rewarded whatsoever.
Yeah. Anyway, speaking of rewards going to this movie, let's jump into some movie news and the box office.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. This is what's happening in your world tonight.
We apologize for the interruption.
Back to you.
All right. So here we go. Box office. We had 2 movies opening up this last weekend. One is Madam Web. The other one is Bob Marley, One Love. I'm going to give you the gross earnings for this last weekend. And I'm not going to tell you which movie is which. And I want you guys to figure it out.
This is going to be hard.
Don't pull it up.
I'm not.
The number 1 movie, it made $33.6 million.
So that was One Love. Okay.
The number 2 movie made $17.8 million.
That's Madam Web.
Which one is which?
So number 1 is got to be One Love. And Madam Web is 17.
I mean, come on. Madam Web is a comic book movie. It's superhero.
But One Love is Bob Marley.
Over a biopic? Come on.
So
really?
Here's my thought. How many people could, before Madam Web came out, how many people could actually say who, or at least describe who Madam Web is? No one. No one is the answer. How many people could name at least one Bob Marley song? Damn near everyone.
Let's get together
and be all right.
Yeah. The number 1 movie in the box office this weekend is Bob Marley, One Love. Bob Marley, One Love had $33.6 million as opposed to Madam Web's number 2 spot at $17.8 million.
And what movie did we go see? Madam Web.
I want to see Bob Marley, One Love.
Yeah.
This is we've said enough about Madam Web. That's very unfortunate for Madam Web, but very good for Bob Marley One Love. Hey, let's go. Love to see it. People saw it was Black History Month and they did the right thing. They did the right thing at large.
Let's go see Madam Web for Black History Month. What?
I wasn't going there. The number 33 movie in the box office is Argylle, which has made total 37.6 million. So Bob Marley in its opening weekend has almost made the total amount of money that Argylle has made in its 3-week run so far. So there you go. Box office is coming back to life, I guess.
Argylle is not a bad movie. That one's definitely worth going to see.
Yeah. It's just that's kind of one of those situations where everyone's like, well, I can wait and watch it at home when it hits streaming or video on demand or whatever. Number 4 is Migration. People love that duck movie, apparently. Still hanging out in the number 4 spot, even though it's been out for 9 weeks. People love ducks.
What's surprising, though, is that means it's beaten Wonka.
Yes, which is number 5. Wonka, been out for 10 weeks. Sitting at that 5th spot. Number 6, The Chosen, Season 4, Episodes 4 through 6, Fathom Events. Okay, skipping that, moving on. Number 7, The Beekeeper. Number 8, a movie that you recently watched, Anyone But You. And number 9, in its second week in the box office, Lisa Frankenstein dropped.
Oh, it's okay. That sucks. That movie is worth going to see. I will easily say go see Lisa Frankenstein before Madam Web. Easily.
Frankenstein. That movie has not made any money.
That sucks. That was a good movie.
Ooh, its worldwide total so far is out of 2 weeks is 8,400,000.
Yeah, I need people to show up for that because that was Diablo Cody and Zelda Williams. That movie needs to be successful. I want to see more from those two.
People will show up in home viewing for that one, it looks like.
Yeah, I believe that's definitely one that people were going to like, why didn't we see this in the theaters?
We will see that one available for at least video on demand. I'm betting later half of next month.
Yeah.
Pretty soon here. Number 10 is Land of Bad. What is that? Oh, that's that Liam Hemsworth and Russell Crowe. I didn't even realize that came out. There you go.
Oscar winner Russell Crowe.
Yeah, Oscar winner Russell Crowe came out this week at the number 10 spot. So there you go. There's your top 10. Let's go Bob Marley.
Yeah. The reason I called out Oscar winner Russell Crowe is we saw a poster for it, but the frame on the poster blocked out the word Oscar, so all it said was winner Russell Crowe. I was like, what did he win?
He's just a winner.
He's a winner.
Russell Crowe's just a winner.
He just walks around earning dubs. That's what he does because he's Russell Crowe.
He's a modern day Charlie Sheen. What do you want from him? He's got tiger's blood. There's a dated reference for you.
Yeah. Real quick news that has just popped up pretty much today. Joker 2 has a $200 million budget. Why? I mean, I'm going to guess most of that probably went to Lady Gaga just to get her in the movie.
No.
But
no way.
What are they doing with that movie that necessitates a $2 million budget?
I can guess, and I'm actually kind of excited about it. So we know that this movie is going to be a musical.
Sort of. It's a light musical.
But there's going to be very colorful, fancy musical number sequences in this movie that are going to be probably pretty wild.
I guess. For comparison, the first Avengers movie was anywhere from $220 to $225 million back in 2012. So, I mean, adjust that for inflation, it's probably more like 250,000, but still, that's 50 million more than what the budget for this movie is. Why?
Yeah.
We don't have aliens invading Earth, as far as I know. We just have Joker and Harley.
Yeah, I don't see any reason necessarily why Joker 2 should be over 100 million, but I'm expecting that they're just using that money for just wild out there sequences that will play out in the movie between Joker and Harley Quinn, probably in like some kind of phased out dream state of some sort.
I would understand it if they said that this 200 million also includes the money that they were planning on spending for marketing. That would make sense, because that would put your budget probably closer to 100 million. I think the first Joker movie's budget was 60 million. So that would make sense. It gives you a little bit more of a budget because it's a sequel to a successful movie, also giving a little bit more money to hire Lady Gaga to be a part of it. So that would make sense also.
So how much money did the first Joker make? A lot? They made a lot.
It made a lot of money.
So they're expecting budget is 200 million with marketing 400 million. So
and then you want to make double, so they're hoping it makes 800 million. Essentially,
well, you need to make 400 million to break even. You would want to make about 500 million at that point to at least net 100 million profit. So we'll see. I mean, it's possible it could get there. It would definitely get there if it's good.
But that's a huge risk. That's a huge risk.
Lady Gaga will sell tickets.
Yeah. Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn. Yeah. That alone sells it. But
yeah. Also, apparently she's in Fortnite now, for those of you who care about that.
Or she's coming to Fortnite.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting to see what character her skin. That sounds weird if you don't know video games. Anyways, next one. Ballerina has been pushed back a year. This is the John Wick spinoff that's supposed to carry us into a new era of John Wickiness. Now that there's no more John Wick, apparently. Supposedly. Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, so this has been pushed back an entire year, which is funny because that now means that it will also pop up on our marquee list of most anticipated movies for next year.
I love these every year. There's at least a couple movies that have popped up. Hey, this movie's going to release this year. No, it's not. It's releasing next year. And every year we have like some movies that just double up. It's crazy.
I mean, I understand coming off of the pandemic and now the strikes of last year. Yeah, that would make sense. But
this was one of the ones I put in the S tier for this year. So will it remain in S tier next year? Stay tuned to the channel for several months to find out.
Until January of next year.
Yeah, so they're pushing it back for filming some more action sequences. So, I mean, doesn't sound like a bad thing to me. If they're like, hey, we got some more action sequences we want to add into this. Cool. All right. Sounds dope. I mean, it's kind of the whole reason why I want to see the movie to begin with is just Ana de Armas doing action sequences because she's really good at it. So.
Could have just stopped at Ana de Armas. The whole reason I want to see this movie, Ana de Armas.
Listen, all we know is that there's not going to be a lawsuit against this movie.
I was going to say, now, if she's not in this movie, I'm suing because I'm expecting to see Ana de Armas in this movie. She's going to be in the trailer, so she better be in the movie.
Yeah. Anyway.
I know, that's an old joke. That's a joke I probably would have said, like, yesterday, but... That's an even dumber joke. Anyways, next story. Gareth Edwards is going to be directing the next Jurassic World movie. This is interesting casting. So it was announced, or casting, directing, whatever. It was announced, I believe it was supposed to be David Leitch that was going to be directing it, and then he bowed out within the week that we didn't do Tagline, and then the following Tagline we're like, oh yeah, he stepped down anyways. Well, now the next week later, Gareth Edwards is now directing. So
Gareth Edwards,
we got new information about this Jurassic World movie.
Gareth Edwards is a good visionary director. He did a great job on Rogue One and
The Creator.
The Creator was fantastic. But while I do think that if you're going to pick a director for another Jurassic World movie, I think that he's not a bad choice. I also don't care about another Jurassic World movie, no matter who's in the director's seat. You could tell me that Steven Spielberg is back. Actually, scratch that. No, I would be okay with that. I would actually be excited about that one if Steven Spielberg was back for a Jurassic movie. But for the most part, one, you're not going to get him back. But two, there's just about nothing that they could tell me that's going to excite me. They already did all the old actors coming back again for the third Jurassic World movie. I can't imagine they're going to try to do that again, try to pull that off again.
We also got exactly everything that we wanted from a Jurassic Park film with the last one, which was introducing to the main world locusts.
Locusts, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's what we were all wanting the entire time, ever since the first Jurassic Park movie came out in 1993. Ever since Michael Crichton wrote that first Jurassic Park novel, this is all we've really wanted to see is locusts invading. The fuck?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but they didn't actually solve the problem of dinosaurs just being amongst humans at the end of Dominion. We just have dinosaurs living amongst us now in those movies, right?
So if I remember correctly, which I'm pretty sure I don't, but I think that the goal of the movie was to herd the dinosaurs to this like one valley, which they're still out and about. They can still roam around and go wherever they want, but they were just trying to get them to this one valley instead of getting them back to an island where they could be self-contained, but whatever. I don't care.
They tried to herd all the dinosaurs to Dinosaur Valley.
That valley, wherever that main facility that they were at, they had like this valley that was like a Garden of Eden type of utopia right outside, that they're like, the dinosaurs could come here and live and they're free to roam around and whatever. I don't know. I don't care. Those movies got too stupid.
And this is where they'll introduce a Littlefoot and a
Sarah and Petrie and Ducky and the Great Valley.
Bingo. That's where I was going.
And congratulations, Jurassic World
is a prequel to Land Before Time.
Which, again, those dinosaurs were not a part of the Jurassic period. Whatever. We've come back to the Land Before Time. We have reached time.
It all circles back to time.
Time.
And just like that, we've circled back to the top of the show. All right, good night, everybody. That's it for the tagline.
We had more to talk about. The thumbnail is all about the Beatles, but I really don't think. I think that was the perfect cap.
We did the best.
We'll see y'all next week for like the second to last whatever tagline. Thank you. Subscribe, like, comment.
Excellent job, everybody. You guys in the chat were great.
We'll see you next time. Good night, everyone. Just kidding.
Anyway, I don't really care about another Jurassic World movie.
No.
We'll see. We'll get a trailer. I'll be like, all right, that looks fun. God damn it.
And that's the thing is Gareth Edwards definitely has a certain eye to how he does things. And I'm trying to think of a world where we're seeing Jurassic Park through his storytelling. I don't know exactly what he could do, but I feel like there's something he could definitely bring to the table with that would make it interesting.
And it better not be the family.
Yeah, like I want this to be. I kind of want to be like very much like the creator. We're really only focused on like maybe two or three humans throughout the entirety of the movie. There's other humans because, I mean, someone's got to die. Otherwise, this movie's not interesting. But we're really only focused on two or three. And everything else is all about how the dinosaurs interact with the rest of the world.
And absolutely none of those humans should be Vin Diesel, Ludacris, or Tyrese.
No.
Unless they're actually playing roles that aren't Fast and Furious.
Although that is great. Fast and Furious crossover with Jurassic World. I mean, they're all Universal, so they could do it if they wanted.
I think that's why there's been rumors and talks about it. Pass. Do not put the Fast and Furious movies in the same universe as Jurassic. That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. It's stupid.
But I do want to hear Dom sitting there at the end of the movie with the backyard with the barbecue and all the people and the Coronas and whatnot, and be like, "That T-Rex is family." I just
Blue shows up.
Yeah, Blue the raptor. Blue is family.
Crack open a Corona, Blue.
Yeah.
You're my boy, Blue. Anyway.
You can eat any member of the family you want as long as you're drinking a Corona also.
I mean, they tried to do it with the 22 Jump Street and Men in Black. They thought that they were going to do that over at Sony, but that never happened.
Yeah.
Don't do these weird crossovers. We don't need them.
Anyways, moving on. So Disney and Sony.
Speaking of Sony.
Feel like we've already had a huge conversation about Disney and Sony, but they're working together for another reason. Apparently, and I haven't noticed this lately, because for the most part, I haven't been into collecting physical media. With running a YouTube channel, it's just better if all of my movies are digital. That way I have them available for editing into videos and whatnot. It's much easier than buying like the Blu-ray or whatever and then ripping the movie from the Blu-ray. Just that's a whole lot of extra effort. We don't have a theater. We don't have a TV or anything set up. We just watch everything on our computers anyways. It's much better. But apparently Disney has been having issues releasing physical media lately. So they've partnered with Sony and they're allowing Sony to handle the manufacturing, the processing of their movies.
The actual physical distribution of it all.
Yeah. And yeah, so typically when you talk about distribution, you're talking about how the studio is helping to get the movies spread to theaters or in stores. This one is specifically Sony is going to be creating the discs.
Yeah.
Which, if I remember correctly, I want to say Sony was a major champion for Blu-ray back during the whole Blu-ray and HD DVD battle. The battle of the red versus the blue, the Bloods and the Crips, whatever. Yeah, I know. They got gangland style.
You just go red versus blue. Early YouTube days.
Yeah, I grew up in the 90s, so I have to reference the gangs of
I grew up in the 90s too.
But Sony made Blu-ray. So that would tell me that that's probably a really good partnership. I just wish there would also be something in there like, so, about that Spider-Man.
And that's the thing, like, just to let everybody know, that's not even close to how it would work.
That would be funny, though. I'm picturing Dave Chappelle.
We're talking about two completely different departments here that don't handle anything similar to the other thing. Like, there's like no negotiation with Sony for Spider-Man stuff on top of the physical media distribution. It's like asking the janitor service to come in and handle working a camera. That's not. They're two completely different departments. So,
yeah. But yeah, so we'll see. Hopefully that means a lot of good stuff for Disney as far as physical media goes.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on. Let's talk about this main topic because this one actually looks pretty interesting. So apparently, the four Beatles, the two that are still alive, Ringo Starr and Paul McCartney, have signed off on allowing movies to be made about their lives. They've also gotten the estates of George Harrison and John Lennon to sign off on these as well. So we're getting what it looks like is 4 separate movies. Each movie is going to be about each individual member of the Beatles and their lives coming together, leading up to. I think that each one of them is supposed to be playing the entire story of the Beatles from their point of view up until like the breakup of the Beatles. So we're going to get like their origin, the entire time of them as the Beatles, and then the inevitable breakup of the band. Which is weird because that means that we're probably going to see things like, we're going to see them come together. We're going to see things like them on, why am I blanking on the dude's name? The late night show that they were on that was really popular. Thank you. Thank you very much for your viewing enjoyment.
Yep.
What's his name?
I think it's more so interesting to me that we're going to Ed Sullivan. It's more so interesting to me that the sounds of that then is that it's 4 of basically the same movie, the same time period, the same timeline of events, but we're seeing it all from a different perspective each time.
Each movie is focused on each individual member.
So are we going to see, like, let's say, first day in the recording studio for the band together, and they're all doing the thing
4 times,
but we're going to see that same exact scene 4 times, and they're going to be saying the same lines 4 times, and I'm losing interest in this now all of a sudden.
So I mean, I'm completely guessing. I haven't seen anything that's actually saying that, but I would assume that that's how it's going to end up going, because eventually all 4 of these guys are living the same life. Like, they all were on Ed Sullivan at the same time. They all did whatever concerts.
I would have thought that each one was a biopic, essentially, of where they were at in life leading up to them coming together as the Beatles, and the movie's ending with them forming the Beatles and a big moment in the early career of the Beatles. And then after that, they do a Beatles movie from that point to the breakup. That makes sense to me. That's a Beatles cinematic universe. That's your Captain America, Hulk, Iron Man, and Thor coming together. And then you do an Avengers movie.
The Beatles. Yeah.
Yeah, that would make more sense to me. You do it like that.
That might be how they actually play it. Like, right now, I feel like we just got like the bare bones of being told what's going to happen. So apparently all 4 of these movies are going to come out in 2027, which means half of our most anticipated marquee for that year is going to be Beatle movies. So not that that's necessarily a bad thing. That's just a whole lot of Beatles.
I got George Harrison in the S tier.
Yeah. That's 4 movies, all directed by Sam Mendes. Again, as of right now, it sounds like he's directing all 4 of them.
And they're all 4 coming out in 2027? All 4 of them are 2027.
It's a lot of Beatles movies.
I'm very curious to see how they do this, because something's just not making sense to me here.
Yeah. I think there's more that they'll clarify later, but
what if it turns out that they're like, one Beatles movie is going to Disney Plus, one Beatles movie is going to Apple Plus, one Beatles movie is going over to Max, one Beatles movie is going over to
probably
Prime,
depending on who actually gets the rights to them.
And then so you have to sign up for all the different streaming services to watch all 4 of them.
Yeah. Like the hashtag release the Yoko cut. Yeah, let's not do that.
Yeah, I really think the thing that makes the most sense would be to do a life story of Paul McCartney, a life story of George Harrison, a life story of Ringo Starr, a life story of John Lennon, and then you do a Beatles movie.
Yeah.
But if they're all releasing in 2027, that's a lot.
Yeah, there's definitely, I agree. There's definitely something in there. There's a small detail that seems to be missing in this that we're just not aware of yet, that will probably be clarified as to, are we going to see them on the Ed Sullivan Show 4 different times? The same scene, essentially, 4 different times in the theater of 2027. That sounds boring. Like, it's going to be cool seeing it once, but after seeing it again, you're like...
Or because each one is from a different Beatles perspective, that same scene happens 4 times, but the way it comes across and plays out is just a little bit different every single time. That's interesting.
Like, we get what's going through Ringo Starr's head while he's banging the drums on the Ed Sullivan Show.
How does he see the order of events and the things that the other members of the band were saying? Like, oh, okay, Paul McCartney from his vision was saying something kind over here to Ringo. But if we watch the Ringo movie, the way that line reads sounds like Paul McCartney was angry at him for something. You know, that would be interesting.
I'm just hoping the Ringo Starr movie ends with him playing Mr. Conductor on Shining Time Station. That would be great.
And then before
George Carlin
takes over.
Yeah. But there's a reference. So, yeah, that's going to be interesting to see how they do that. Like, I like when there's something new to making a movie. Best example I have for this would be Richard Linklater did that movie Boyhood that he filmed in real time over the course of like 12 years.
Yeah.
Filming the same people. Like that is a like a monument of movie making. And like, it's kind of surprising that Boyhood doesn't get more credit for this. Although granted, I understand, I've watched Boyhood. It is kind of a dull movie. There really isn't much story involved in this 12-year process. Richard Linklater is also working on a movie right now that is upping that and is taking the course over the span of like 50 years. So he's already started filming this. I forgot, like it's based off of something and I forgot what it was, but yeah, it's going to take like 50 years for him to film this movie. That's going to be insane. That is a huge monument of movie making. This would be something new as well, is make the same movie from 4 different viewpoints, all coming together right now.
Yeah.
Sorry,
it's interesting.
Can't sing without that line.
It's interesting that they you see folks trying to push the boundaries of how do we make a movie? What do we do? Like Marvel's really like been a big kickoff too with what if we did a bunch of franchises that were all part of the same universe together? I mean, you also, even before that, you saw like, what if we bring 2 different franchises together, like Alien versus Predator, or, what are the 2 horror guys? I don't care.
Well, go look at Kevin Smith, the View Askew universe.
Yeah.
That was one of, well, I would say one of the first earlier ones was actually the Universal Monsters, but I would say the View Askew universe was pretty successful, and you had like weird things like Clerks and Mallrats and Chasing Amy and Dogma.
But that was successful on an indie level.
Yeah,
because all those movies, even still to this day, qualify as indie level movies. They're independent filmmaking, mostly all typically funded by Kevin Smith until more recently, really. So, though something like a cinematic universe like that really does work on an independent level where, you don't have the studio control or oversight saying, hey, it needs to be like this, it needs to be like that. So with Marvel doing it, it's kind of the first time ever that we saw the big cinematic universe happen at the studio level, which is crazy. But now, we're taking the step beyond and saying, okay, we're going to have an individual movie for each one of the Beatles. And that's, we use the phrase often to remark from the Star Wars movies. I'm going to be watching this story with great interest. Just to see what direction it goes in, because I'm very confused about how it works right now.
What's the logistics involved in making this movie or movies? Yeah. So that's going to be interesting. Otherwise, yeah, I think that does it. It's surprisingly, it's been a slow news week, I would say, for movies. As we get closer to, like, say, the Oscars, we'll probably have a lot more that kick up as well. Speaking of which, we will be doing our live watch along. That is going to be Sunday, March 10th. I believe they said the Oscars are going to start here in Texas Central Time at 6 p.m. So 7 p.m. Eastern and 4 p.m. Pacific. We will probably be doing our live watch along maybe like 30 minutes before. So we can kind of recap. I haven't started it yet just because they haven't been available, but I'm going to start diving into all of the Best Picture nominees. So by the time that the live stream comes out, the Oscars come out, we'll go back and talk about, okay, now I have seen Zone of Interest. Let me tell you about this movie kind of thing. So that will be coming up pretty soon. So yeah, Sunday, March 10th, mark your calendars. We're doing the live Oscar watch along as we typically do every year here on this channel. And it's usually pretty fun. Like, I actually enjoy the Oscar watch alongs.
Yeah, a lot of stuff's going down in March. A lot of stuff going down in March. So
we've got that coming up. We got the marquee where we're going to be tier ranking MCU villains. That will be Friday, March 15th, 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern. We will have trivia and watch along dates for the Patreons. We'll get those posted. We'll probably mention those on the final few taglines. What's going to be of key importance going forward, now that we're no longer going to be doing a weekly tagline show where we can catch everyone up on what we're planning on doing for the month or so, we're going to start releasing a lot more of these as images on social media. So you need to make sure you are following at the Cinefanatics on Twitter and Instagram at least. Probably also post them as community posts on YouTube. Like, here's what's coming out for this week. Here's what we're planning on doing: the Patreon watch along and the trivia nights.
it's also just going to be helpful that if you're interested in those Patreon events, that you just sign up on the Patreon anyway, because that you'll be updated through Patreon when we're doing those things.
So that will be what's going to supplement, what's going to replace us making those announcements every week on the tagline. It's just going to be a social media post. Yep. So make sure you are following if you have not done that already. Otherwise, I think that's about it for tonight. If you haven't seen our, we did a trailer reaction to Borderlands earlier today. That's a fun looking movie. I know I see like a lot of people on Twitter saying that it looks like crap or the trailer just doesn't look good. I don't know. Maybe that's another one of those, like if you knew the video game, maybe the movie looks like crap compared to the video game. I don't know. Neither of us played the video game. We don't know anything about the video game still. The only thing I know about it now is from what that trailer showed us. So
Yep.
If you haven't seen that trailer yet, go watch that. It was a lot of fun. Very interested in that movie. So otherwise, I think that's going to do it for tonight. Again, hop on the Patreon, patreon.com/sonoffanatics. Get on that $5 tier. You can join us here in roughly about an hour. We'll be doing the movie trivia hangout for this month, answering trivia questions about Black cinema. So this will be fun.
Yep.
Anyways, so that is going to do it for tonight. Thank y'all for watching. Very much appreciate each and every single person who was here while we were doing this live. If you're watching this on a replay, we appreciate your view as well. Let us know your thoughts, feelings, and opinions down below in the comments. Everyone, whether you're watching on a replay or watching it live, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't done that already. We're doing a good job of continuing to push for subscribers. So we got through like 60-something subscribers real quick. So I'm very positive at seeing this channel grow, hopefully hitting that 5,000 subscribers by the end of this year. So
you mean 60-something subscribers after the 2,000 mark?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That's what I meant. Words. Anyways, I think that is pretty much everything. So yeah, again, follow us on social media at the Cinefanatics on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok. I will be making some more TikToks, ranking some stuff pretty soon. Kind of took a break from that for a bit, but that will be back up pretty soon as well. We do have tickets for Dune 2, so we'll be doing the out of the theater reaction. The review for that will be coming up here in a couple of weeks when we get to see that movie. So yeah, follow us on social media everywhere that we are at, I guess. Follow me at RCA Reacts on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Letterboxd, and youtube.com/@RCA Reacts. I took a break from making a video this week. I'm going to be honest, a little bit burnt out. Hopefully the YouTube algorithm gods still bless me with showing my next video to people as it comes out. I should have a new one next week. So,
and you can follow me at Chris Adams MLP on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd, as well as twitch.tv/Chris Adams MLP. Well done.
That's going to do it for tonight. Thank y'all for watching very much. Again, appreciate every single person who's watching. We will see y'all later. Good night.
Bye.